Holy smokus, it ain't no jokus. XRP at Walmart? What? Plus, why the new treasury company is so important for XRP, and some theories about the market, about Bitcoin, and about the M2 that you're not going to want to miss. And is President Trump twisting China's arm again? Is this good for the market? Is this bad? We'll talk about all of this. Make sure to watch all the way to the end to get all the latest and the greatest news. And I just want to remind you that this video is for entertainment purposes only. You should always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. Smishity smash that like button. Listen, I just went yesterday to the institution of BS, and they told me that the reason why XRP has been so terrible lately is because you guys have been lazy with your likes. You got to listen to the institution of BS, right? Of course, wink, wink, there's no correlation between the two. But let's smash that like button. It really helps out with the algorithm. Currently, XRP is sitting at $2.40, down minus 3.5% on the day. Actually, when I went to sleep, yes, I do sleep sometimes, although I am a little bit of a jet lag coming back from Thailand. XRP was up to 255, and now it's all the way down to 240. So it's because I went to sleep. Yeah, that's the reason why. Down about 6% since I went to sleep. We'll talk about why I think it sold off. And right now the market is in this, I don't know what to call it even. It's kind of how I feel that I've come back from my vacation, right? You know, if you've ever been on a long vacation, you know, especially like you're at hotels and you're eating at restaurants, and right, then you get back home and you have to, you know, do laundry. By the way, we did like laundry services in Thailand. It was like so cheap. It's like $5 to do your laundry and fold it, right? And now I got to do laundry. I gotta clean. I gotta cook, right? So you get back, and yeah, that's what I do, those stuff, because I'm a stay-at-home dad, right? But you get back to it, and it's, I don't know. You feel the pain. This is what the market is feeling right now, I think. Bitcoin dropped all the way down to 107,000. It was above 110,000, and we had this big sell-off here. We had a sell on the 1348 EMA, and we saw that pull back. I'll tell you why I think it happened. Also, Ethereum under 4,000, Solana still under 120. I think it might be because of the Trump's rare earth deal. President Trump signs an important minerals and rare earth trade deal with Australia to counter China. I think that this might have put pressure on the markets just because it makes uncertainty, right? Wait a second. If Trump is signing with Australia, what does this mean for the China deal? And so it's a little bit confusing. You see Trump and Besant come out and give positive remarks, but then they do a deal with Australia. So I think that maybe freaked out the market a little bit. And that's why we saw this 3-4% sell-off. We still need to be very careful. The market is still very flippity-floppity right now. Let's see, where's the fear and greed index? We're probably still in fear, right? Although it did come up a little bit last night. I think that the gauge was before the sell-off, right? The gauge happens at 3 a.m. my time, yeah. So when we were at that point, Bitcoin was around still 110,000. So I'm guessing if we would have had a what's it called? I'm blanking on the word. If we would have had a data point created right now, then it would be a lot lower on the fear just because of this sell-off. So it is what it is. You're gonna have some days that are good, some days are bad. Yom Asal, Yom Basal. You can see here on the headlines, it says Trump signs the rare earth deal, and then it says Trump's Australia deal is all about his upcoming meeting with Xi to put pressure on China, right? And pre-market is a little bit down on the stocks, right? So again, we'll see how this day plays out. Maybe by the time you're watching this, we're a little bit higher, maybe we're a little bit lower. Again, as always, I don't know how the market is going to play out day to day. Of course, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. This week was supposed to be an interesting week. We were supposed to have CPI and all that, but because of the government shutdown, that's not happening. No initial jobless claims, and so everything is looking until next week. With still the probability looks like they're going to be reducing interest rates 100% probability, either a quarter and very, very low probability for a half. And so that's the current, climate that we are in. I want to remind you also that I will never contact you on social media asking you to sign up to anything or to send me any money. Those are scammers. Please be very careful out there. I'm not on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram. I'm not DMing you. Please be very careful. We talked about the story of the guy losing $3 million because of him not understanding that he was connected. They heard that he changed his cold wallet into a hot wallet. Just be very careful out there, okay? Understand, research, especially if you have a lot of money. But even if you have a little money, you'd rather make the mistakes with little money, by the way. But someone losing $5,000 can be tragedy. Of course, it's not the same as losing 3 million, but for someone that's living paycheck to paycheck, that could be very significant. Okay. So just be very, very careful out there. Interesting news coming from a company, OnePay Cash, on CNBC saying that, well, let's take a listen.
And just the ease of which, regular folks, people who, go to Walmart, there are 150 million Americans who use Walmart online or in person every week, can now actually have crypto in the very same app. They can buy it, they can hold it, they can store it, they can trade it if they want. And then when they want to go pay for something, they can, turn it into cash. And like we said, OnePay is actually integrated into the checkouts of Walmart. So it is, I think, a milestone in that case, Carl.
So we've talked a lot about on this channel about integration of cryptocurrency as an actual currency, as a payment, right? As DeFi. And this is another step forward. We'll see how many people actually going to Walmart and using crypto to buy whatever you buy at Walmart, right? They have so many things. So you can buy a lot of stuff. But this is, again, another avenue for cryptocurrency. And yes, XRP is one of the offerings there at OnePay. So now you can use your XRP to buy at Walmart. Some people will say you're crazy for wanting to do that, right? Using your crypto as a payment, because many people still look at crypto as a pure investment and not as something that is actually a currency, which again, I think is one of the problems still of the cryptocurrency market. We might get there in the next few years where we go over, right, where we're able to make a jump there and more people actually use it as a currency. I think stable coins will be used more as a payment option than regular cryptos, but we'll see. It's going to be very interesting. I wanted to touch a little bit about the story that we talked about last night and the new treasury company that a lot of people from Ripple are part of there. And Dom here from EZA put up some interesting points here. He says, FYI, the important thing now about the XRP treasury company is that it will be buying XRP on the open market. So it hasn't bought yet, right? Not at a discount, which other treasury companies do. Sometimes the treasury companies, they'll go to Coinbase or to someone else and say, hey, can we get, $1 billion worth of XRP? Sell it to me off market, right? And so then they just transfer them 1 billion XRP and they have it, right? No, right? In this scenario, they're going to be buying XRP on the open market, which means they're going to be bidding for XRP. And of course, that should right, help the price go up. They might be doing it while the market is dropping. And then, maybe that you won't see a big God candle, right? But I think it shows a lot of confidence. And listen, you don't launch a treasury company unless you believe price is going much higher. And if Ripple believes price is going higher, you best believe. A lot of people at Ripple are very high on this treasury company, right? And this makes sense. You say you wouldn't be launching a treasury company if you think the prices have topped, right? If the market is topped, this would be the worst. If the people at the what's the name of the company? I keep forgetting. If they didn't, think that the price of XRP was going to be going up at this point in time, they would have waited, right? Why would they be so, what's the word? My mind is blanking on words today. Enthusiastic to start the company right now, right? They wouldn't. They would wait a little bit, maybe wait till the market hits the bottom. Like some people are saying that we're going to drop off here. They would wait, but no, they're confident on the market and they're confident in the price of XRP. So should this make us more confident, less confident? I'm still very confident on crypto and XRP long term. What happens by the end of October? I don't know. What happens by the end of the year? I don't know. I was hoping that we would see the peak here, but maybe this cycle is different. We've seen a lot of different things happen in the cycle. I keep saying it, but it's true. This is how it is. So we'll see. And, Chris Larsen, the chairman, I think is the chairman, right, of Ripple, one of the co-founders, he told us that he was going to be investing 50 million XRP in the company. And already the FUD started and it says, well, alert, 50 million worth XRP moved from Ripple co-founder Chris Larsen's wallet to unknown address. Of course, 120,000 people saw this. And then, people were answering here that he confirmed that it was for Evernorth XRP firm, and that's where it's going, right? So again, you never know what kind of FUD is out there and what's happening and why the markets are doing what they're doing. And many times it's a tweet or it's something, or the algos see something like this, right? And they're like, oh no, the chairman of Ripple is selling his XRP. What's happening here, right? And then they start selling off. But it's fake news, right? So we have to be very careful day to day and understand that, the algos have an edge on us because they can read a lot more information. They can understand a lot more information, but they also make mistakes, right? So we need to be very careful. There's a lot of people talking about the current situation of the market and that we might be at the top. And Plan B, which many people have followed his kind of projections or the projection that he uses. And right now we haven't hit, right, the red, right? We haven't yet hit even a red dot on this cycle. And he says bears think 127 was the top. 126 was the top, and Bitcoin will fall below 100,000 in 2026 will be a bear market, mainly because of the 4-year cycle. In my opinion, this is a big misunderstanding. Yes, there is a 4-year cycle that doubles S24 ratio, and 6 months before until 18 months after a halving was a very profitable last 3 cycles. But 3 cycles is not enough for a reliable pattern, and it's absolutely not guaranteed that the top is again 18 months after the halving. Also, S2F model says nothing about tops or bottoms, only about the average price level in a halving cycle. Assuming a fundamental phase transition as described in the S2FX article on his website, so in his opinion, the top could very well be in 2026, 27, or 28. Actually, I am much more interested in the average price level than the top or the bottom. What I do know is this: there's not been a fundamental Bitcoin phase transition yet in this cycle. Realized price, gray line, has not diverted from 200-week moving average, black line. RSI has not been 80 plus, red, etc. Either the big jump has yet to come, or we have transitioned into a more stable price regime, dominated by institution fund mandates, example 1 to 10% Bitcoin, and rebalancing, sell after pump and buy after dump to keep exposure within the mandate. Both scenarios are very bullish for Bitcoin. Also, in his opinion, there can not be a bear market without a big jump. Red, RSI 80 plus, and gray realized price diverting from black 200 WMA. But this is an interesting, scenario and opinion. This is again his opinion, Plan B. And I get it. Like, how can you say we'll have a bear market if we really haven't had the craziness, the euphoria, the FOMO, right? The huge gains. How can you have huge profit takings when you haven't had huge gains? You could have consolidation, sideways movement. Yes, that could be a possibility, but I don't think a bear market is where we're headed. Not yet. And we still have the M2, right, which is so far detached from Bitcoin, right, when we're looking at it. So it had mimicked it, cadence, had same cadence for a very long time, and then M2 started going up and Bitcoin started consolidating. And you can see it's actually tracking a little bit more gold. And what happened with gold? Gold ran up. So we might be delayed, we might be shifted. The institutions investing could have had, this huge effect on where the markets are and how they're reacting and how they're moving. Of course, that last Friday could have put wrench in the wheel a little bit, maybe have delayed a few things. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm still very bullish on the crypto market long term. I'm not changing my thesis. I'm not moving around. And so it will be very interesting to see how things play out. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, now is the time to do so. Ring the bell so you can be part of the notification nation and not miss out on any videos. Drop a comment in the comment section, 8 for infinity and beyond. And did you smash the like button? Now is the time to do so. Of course, check out the links in the description down below. Some of those are affiliate links. We have the Moneymaker store and we have the Patreon where you can support as well. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.